Hello, believers and non-believers. Ha! No, I'm not gonna start that again. Welcome to Fort Dirt, where I'm standing vigil. Hopefully I don't die. Look at my little pet cows. Blah, 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 blah. I love you guys. Alright. So, it's been actually a few days since I've gotten to record. I think it's been almost 3 days since you have seen a video posted by me now. And that is because I'm under an intense, very intense deadline to get something done for the big project, man. That's right, I have a deadline. And that deadline is the 12th of March. So if you don't see any videos from me from now until then, do not worry. Stuff will return. And hopefully return in force. So who knows? It's so dark, and I am without a bed. It's so dark. I'm so alone. What do? I do nothing but stand here, because can't see a darn thing out there. In fact, I should turn off my lamp here. My drawing lamp. Oh, looks like there's a skeleton out there. And he's got a sword and his shield. And yeah. Yeah, I kind of regret bringing up any religious topics now. Because now I have, in my private messages, at least 6 discussions going on. And they're all fun, because I can't take certain things seriously. I refuse to, because there's some outlandish claims out there. But let me ask you a kind of controversial subject. Do you believe in ghosts and aliens out there? Do you think we've been visited by aliens? Or do we have ghosts? I have yet to see proof of one or the other. I hear a lot of people have strange stories. Sure, but every time it comes down to proof, it's either a little bit too fuzzy or they didn't really have anything at all. And of course, you know, there's always a friend who stands by and says, yeah, we were there and all sorts of weird stuff happened. You see, I've never had anything weird like that happen. I've never seen any object in the sky or phenomenon that I couldn't rationally explain or go over to explore and check out. You know, because that's what I would do. If I saw something that was kind of apparition-like, I'd actually investigate. That's the kind of person I am. It's kind of funny. I would just go over there and say, what the heck am I looking at? And it's happened to me a couple of times where I've seen things that were more a trick of the eye than they were anything else. There was one time I was looking through the woods, and there was this immense whiteness beyond these bushes. And I was like, what the heck is that? That's so weird. And at various angles as I was walking up to it, it just seemed so unreal. It just didn't fit with the picture. And it was just, all it was, as I got closer to it, was just a big white wall of a building. But it was just so well placed and framed by the tree branches and such that it just didn't fit in with my kind of perception of like normal things that I would see in reality. So, you know, automatically I assume there's a rift in space, and I'm like, no, that's impossible. There can't just be a rift right there. So as I walked forward, yeah, I then began to see the building in the trees. But it was just so, the light was just perfect. All the conditions were just that perfect that it was this great optical illusion. That's probably the weirdest thing I've seen. Yeah, I've heard my share of closing doors and all that. Creaky floors. Sounds like somebody's walking upstairs. But honestly, it all just sounds like creaking floors and wind blowing doors shut. That was it, you know? It didn't scare me because, like I said, I'm just not that afraid of the unknown that I won't check it out. And if it does sound like somebody walking, my first assumption would be somebody broke into a house. I will not jump to ghost. I don't think somebody must have just kind of broke through the vent trap up, in the attic or something. There's no way I could just immediately jump to ghost. As far as aliens, that's the one thing that would constitute an alien or unexplainable craft to me. Nor have I seen any evidence to the contrary that couldn't really be dismissed. I've seen all the videos on YouTube. I've looked for this stuff, because I'm interested in it, and at first I was more interested in seeing if it was real, like, are these things real? Because I wanted them to be real, and like, oh, that's so cool. And then you just find out that some of it's faked. Then you find out a lot of it's faked. And then you find out a whole bunch of it's faked, if not all of it's faked. And you can't tell the fakes from the real anymore. So you just kind of go with the assumption that it's all fake. You can't just jump to the conclusion that it's real. So I've just never seen any evidence to the contrary as far as aliens and ghosts go. And seriously, like the Ghost Hunter show, I've met those guys. They live in my area. They're the biggest skeptics ever. And it's funny, but it's funny how they go through the motions a lot of trying to get people to believe, well, this noise can't be explained, but it's, it sounds like a voice. Your house may be haunted. It's a lot of theatrics, I think, on their part. And, and it's always, the evidence that people present is just always so nebulous and stringy and inconclusive. It's like, and then so many people jump to the conclusions that that's what it is, rather than just attributing it to the unknown. I do believe in unknown phenomena or unexplained phenomena occurring. That's fine. You can assert that at some point you or somebody else in the future might be able to explain what's going on, But I never attribute it to supernatural forces. And I used to. And I used to be a big believer in ghosts and aliens and witchcraft and all that kind of stuff. I used to believe that it worked. But I've seen the tricks that are employed to make you think those work. And it's kind of funny. So, I mean, for all the empirical evidence I've seen against such things, I do, however, believe in an invasion of robots from our own world. Yeah, someday somebody's gonna just make technology out of hand. I don't believe that. But I do believe gray goo is a potential threat. But, I mean, that all depends on how they design the machines. Always you can argue, oh, well, they can go out of control or break down and then go out of control. I guess that's possible, but we don't know since we've never invented one. And that's referring to, like, nano machines and stuff like that. Although I did see an interesting article that they did create an atom-sized transistor. The process by which to create it, though, was pretty harrowing. Just all the money that went into making one single atom-sized transistor was a lot. There's no way they can mass produce it at this point. But it was fascinating Because if you can store information through a single point of an atom, you could do a lot more than what we're currently doing. The problem is they don't operate in like normal room temperatures. That's the main issue that's going on. Is you need a very cool temperature in order to run these atom state machines. Basically, is what they are. And it's just not feasible right now. And I've seen nanowires too. Those were neat. Basically, I think there are wires just like 4 atoms thick. So, I mean, if you kind of combine those things together in your imagination, it equals out to something really fascinating, and we could do so much with that size of technology as far as enhancing ourselves and the world around us. So, but let's hope we get to that point. Let's hope we don't run out of resources and destroy ourselves and all that. I believe that man can overcome all of its problems if we just kind of let let stuff go. I did not mean to swear there. Sometimes I get a little passionate. But yeah, I think we can all work together. I mean, we've got to, you know. And we've got to be able to think freely, speak freely. Otherwise, ideas don't get across. I mean, do you think if people were not able to think critically and freely think that the fundamental laws of physics would have gotten out? Probably not. Or the fact that we've gotten people to the moon, you know, like a lot of people argued against it. And what the data that we collected and continue to collect from those moon missions is astounding, you know. And now we're thinking there is a reasonable chance.
You may well decide whether mankind is bettered or destroyed by the products of science.